Happy Thursday, scholars. So, yesterday I wanted you just to start drafting your report. Now we're going to start revising our report. Revising means we're just going to add a little bit more details to it. So, let's go ahead and go here to this page where it says Step 6 Revise. Let's read parts of Leah's draft and the part of her checklist. So, first I put the fulcrum in my hand. I put the yardstick on the fulcrum. Then I put the book on the other end of the yardstick. I pushed down on the lever to lift the book. Next, I put the fulcrum far from my hand. I pushed down the lever again. Did she describe each step of the experiment? Let's see. First, then, next. Did I tell what happened at each step? First, I put, then I put, next I put. Noticed transition words first, next, then. She gave a list of what she did. You're going to do that. What are the two places Leah put her fulcrum? She put them first near, then far away. So we know that one already. How can she improve her lab report? So tell me, what do you think she could do to improve her lab report? I want you to answer this question by yourself. And that's an opinion question. How can she improve her lab report? She could have used a different block. She could have changed the block. She could have changed something else. She could have changed the lever. This is your opinion. Go ahead and tell me. Next, after you're done answering this question, let's move on. Let's look at the guided practice. I wrote about my experiment. Can you help me make this part of my lab report better? I made changes to my bottle car to see if it would go faster or slower. I made the first change to one car, then raced it against a car that I didn't change. The car that I changed went faster. What happened after Herschel's first change? The car. So let's see here. What happened to Herschel's first change? So let's read this again. I made changes to my bottle car to see if it would go faster or slower. I made the first change to one car, then raced it against a car that didn't change. The car that I changed went faster. So what happened after Herschel's first change? Awesome. Did you say the car went faster? You're correct. So you would say the car that he made changes to went faster. What information did Herschel leave out of his paragraph? What did he leave out? Did you say the steps on the changes? Awesome. I agree. So, what did Herschel leave out? He left out the steps and forgot to explain in detail the changes. He left out details. I want details. What changes did you make? Yeah, you made changes, but what kind of changes? I want to know the exact changes you made. Like, for example, I took out the bottle caps and replaced them with Lego wheels. That's a detail that I want you to put in there. Now, I want to give you some time to revise your report on the last page. So, on the last page, your beginning, did you put a question? Did you talk about the materials you used? Did you introduce your report? Your middle is your first. Did you talk about your first change and the results? Did you list your steps? Make sure you did that. And then tell me your final results. What did you learn? Where did your car go? This might be more than just 3 to 5 sentences now. You might have bumped it up to uh, 5 to 7 sentences, telling me all your steps. What happened first? So remember, use your transition words. What happened first? Then, next, and last. Make sure you see, I want to see those words. First, I did this. Then this happened. Next, followed by last. Sometimes you might not even need last, but still, make sure you have some transition words in your middle. And then revise your ending. What were your final results? What did you learn? And did your car go faster and slower with the changes made? What did you learn? When you're done coming up with your revision, so that means when you're done with step 6, let's move on to step 7. So revising means we're just adding more things in and making it flow a little bit better, making sure we have those key details. Editing is where we look at our grammar, our punctuation, making sure we're not missing any words, there's no typos. We're going to move on to editing. So revise. One way to help readers understand your writing is to give definitions and context clues and explain the new challenging words. These may be the same sentence as a new word or nearby sentences. A definition tells the meaning of a word. A context clue gives a hint about the word's meaning. Let's see how Leah used definitions and context clues in her lab report. I gathered a lever, a fulcrum, and an object. I used a yardstick as a lever, the part that moves up and down. I used a block as a fulcrum. The fulcrum supports the lever. The objects I lifted was a book. So sometimes I wasn't sure my readers would know the word lever, so I gave the definition. I have never heard the word fulcrum, so I didn't think my readers would know it. I gave context clues to explain it. So, what are our words that we're looking at? Friction. What's friction? Go look in your text and find out. Axle. What's an axle? Then, wheels. Why are wheels so important? Hint, a mechanical advantage. You might have to go back to your text to make sure you explain axle, wheels, and friction. Remember, your goal is to create less friction to make the car go faster. So, let's practice. Let's check a different part of my draft for definitions and context clues. I made my bottle car by adding 2 axles and 4 wheels. An axle is what connects the wheels. I used a ramp 5 times to make sure that the car worked. The definition What definition did Herschel give for the word axle? I want you to answer that now. I want you to answer uh, what is the word axle? Where does Herschel explain it? Answer that question here. Next, write a context clue to help readers understand the word ramp. So, what do you think ramp means? I used a ramp. Write that here. So, tell me, what does axle mean and what does ramp mean to you? When you're done, make sure you do revisions on your beginning, middle, and end. Now let's move on to step 7. Step 7 is edit. Before you publish your lab report, be sure you spelled all your words correctly. Used a dictionary to check a word's spelling. The words in a dictionary are the same order as the letters of the alphabet. They are arranged alphabetically. Let's read part of Leah's draft below. I decided to do an experiment with the lever to find out. First, I gathered the supplies I would need. I used a yardstick as a lever. The lever is the part that moves up and down. Use a dictionary to check of experiment. If it's not incorrect, write the correct spelling below. It looks like it's not spelled correctly. So let's see. I decided to do an experiment. Let's see. It looks like it's spelled wrong. Remember, experiment. And for you, you're lucky. These little red lines means you spelt the word wrong. So you need to hover over it, click on your pad, or if you have a mouse, and you can change the spelling to the correct way. What is another misspelled word, and how do you spell it correctly? So looking here, can you find the other misspelled word and put it here? I want you to do that one by yourself. Now, find the misspelled words in the sentences below. Write the correct spelling in the box. Notice there's little red lines. They already tell you where the word is spelled incorrect. I'm going to do the first one for you. The rest you need to do by yourself. So I'm going to hover over this one because it gave me a hint. Oh, let's see here. So they spelt it Possibel. We need to switch the L and the E to make it possible. Now I want you to do the next 2 by yourself. Oh, actually the next 3 by yourself. The object I lifted was a book. Make sure this word's spelled correctly. It is easier to lift things with a lever. Make sure this word's spelled correctly. Push down on the opposite side of the weight. You see where it's spelled incorrectly. Now fix it. What I want you to do is check your spelling, capitalization, and punctuation. Read your report out loud and make sure it's clear and accurate. Then publish your work by turning it in. So I want to make sure there are no red squiggly lines in yours. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what we need to do. So here's my teacher example. Notice I have some words that are spelled incorrectly. So for your last step, you want to make sure you don't have any words that are spelled incorrectly. And then I had a blue line. Blue line's grammar. That means I was forgetting a couple words and it didn't make sense. So here's the teacher example. How can you change the speed of a vehicle? I did an experiment to find out. I wanted to make changes to a bottle car to see if I can make it move faster with the new changes. I made my bottle car by adding 2 axles and 4 wheels. The axle is what connects the wheels and helps my car move. Then I used a ramp to see if there were any changes in speed. First, I wanted to change the wheels. I replaced the bottle cap wheels with Lego wheels. I removed the bottle caps, then snapped the Lego wheels on. The Lego wheels looked better than the bottle caps, in my opinion. Next, I put the car down the ramp. The new and improved wheels made the car go much faster than the bottle caps. Next, I changed the bottle from plastic to an aluminum can. The can was much smaller than the plastic bottle. I used this new and improved Lego wheels. I still use the new and improved Lego wheels. When I made the changes, then I put the new car on the ramp. I noticed both cars went at the same speed. I tested both cars again and still went the same speed. In conclusion, changing the wheels to better wheels made my car go faster. There seemed to be less friction with rubber wheels than plastic wheels. Then I noticed changing the body of my car and did nothing for the speed. I learned I need to make a couple more changes if I want my car to go even faster. This is how much I wrote. Expect you to write that same amount. If not, but at least show me different an amount of paragraphs. Don't just write one big paragraph. Notice I have indents. What I did for my indents was I just did a little bit of spacing. I pushed the space bar about 5 times. Don't hit tab, because if you hit tab to make an indent, it's going to make another box like that, and you don't want that. So just go ahead and just use spaces and make sure you have your indent for your final piece. Go in, make sure you have about 4 paragraphs. Remember, they don't have to be exactly anywhere between 5 to 7 sentences. Sometimes a paragraph only has 3 sentences. That's okay, but try to aim for 5 sentences per paragraph if you can. Make sure you have your steps. So focus a lot on this. Your beginning. What was your question? Materials. Introduce your report. What's your first change? Did you list your steps? What was your second change? Did you list your steps? What were your final results? That's your conclusion, your beginning, middle, and end. Make sure you have that. And here's the teacher example. If you have any questions, please let me know or let your teacher know. All right, happy writing. Make sure you turn this in by Friday. Thank you, scholars.